I'm ready for the love letter to my soul. Are you? Please help me welcome our speaker, Mattie Skye Nogaye.
All right. So, Reverend Dale has already mentioned my name again, Mattie Skye Nogaye. Now, my name used to be Mattie. Used to be. My grandmother's name was Mattie. I never knew her. She passed away 2 years before I was born, but I never liked the name. It was too old for me. So when I went to Senegal, Africa, they called me Mattie, French, with the French thing on it. And after about 2002, I think that's when I went to Africa, I never called myself Mattie again, except for those who had been in my life for a very long time. Family members mostly, because they refused. You know how that goes. They refused to call me Mattie. So Skye came out of meditation of a practitioner friend of mine. None of these names were my original names. Skye came as a result of me having announced to my class that I wanted to change my name. She came to me in class one day saying she had a vision. Actually, she had a dream that my name would be Skye. I took it right away because the concept of the expansiveness of the sky resonated with me. There is no limit to me. That's how it is when we're spiritual beings having a human experience. I would not limit myself, so I kept the name Skye. Nogaye is from Senegal. It means highly spiritual one. She, it's a girl's name, I took it as a last name, was an adored or reverenced person in the Wolof community. I don't know a whole lot about her, but that's what they told me. So all three of those names are not my original names, except the pronunciation of the first one, Mattie, is my original name. So that's who I am, in addition to all the other ways that Spirit chooses to have itself evolve through me. So I come from originally the cities of Detroit and Chicago. And music is a big, 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 big deal for me. So it was no surprise that eventually, probably after about 3 years when I got to Agape, I joined the choir. At that time, we had about 300 members in the choir. There's no world like the world of Ricky Byars. No world like hers. And she, in her God self, would direct us, write music in a day that we had to learn. And I had many opportunities. I traveled, we sang at the UN, we sang in DC, we did a lot of traveling. So it was a blessing, again, for me to have been in that spiritual community. Now, because music is very important to me, thank you for bringing in some Agape music. I'm going to share a couple of Agape pieces in different ways. But right now, I want to play a piece of Ricky's music, Let My Soul Surrender. We're talking about the soul today. And so if the tech folks can go ahead and play that, that'd be great.
What am I to do?
I guess I'd ask that you see where that lands for you in terms of the lyrics and the melody.
To feel I am like a child, and you are with me still. What am I to do? feel. Oh, I am like a child, and you are with me still. Listening in the silence, even in the sadness, everywhere you are. Oh, everywhere you are. Let my soul surrender. Greater I shall be. What I came to do. And what I came to feel. And what I came to see.
I chose that song intentionally. There are many others from Ricky where she sings about the soul that I could have chosen, but that song in and of itself resonates for me and actually took me to naming this talk, A Love Letter to My Soul. It's been important for me throughout my life to recognize where that piece of me, because the soul is a part of me, becomes either activated, ignored, or challenged, and how it is, or what parts of my life that has been the case. So the title of the talk, it says the love letter to my soul, but really this, what I'm doing right now, is a letter. It's the opportunity for me to testify and speak to how my soul has been so, how I've allowed my soul, that's important, what part of our spiritual journeys that we allow the soul to take place or to be activated. And where it is and how it is, we use our tools to make have the soul or be in partnership with the soul. So I'm going to use some of the writings of Ernest Holmes, who was instrumental in developing the science of mind principles. The other thing I want to mention is you sing about the soul every Sunday. That song that you sing, I'm in the right place. You mention, oh, my soul is welcome here. Suddenly, about a couple of days ago, it came to me like, well, wait a minute. They sing about the soul every Sunday. But I wonder. So I wrote a couple of questions. By the way, I'm someone who always has an inquiry. I'm always questioning. There's a book by a nun, her last name is Chittister, the book is called Called to Question. It was a book that a therapist, one of my many therapists, gave me after a few sessions after some traumatic event might have happened. But she too speaks about the importance of the inquiry. So I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I get the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. So my inquiring mind went to, well, how do I know my soul's welcome here? What happens for each of us? I know what happens for me. What is it that tells you your soul is welcome. You don't have to answer that right now. But it is an inquiry. And I think what happens in life is we get these opportunities to question what's happening with my soul? What's happening with my, you'll see the drawing. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. What happens when spirit is, I'm available to spirit. I'm interested in what spirit has to give me, offer me, say to me, send me in terms of hints. And then in terms of my soul, the activation, the opportunity to choose where my soul is concerned. What am I going to do with that? What am I going to do with the message that spirit is attempting to, if I'm willing and open and available, to give me? And so when you're in a space like this beautiful space you have here, and that song is sang at the very beginning of the service, how do you know that your soul is welcome? What is it you sense? So I had some answers for myself. I wanted to know for myself, well, wait a minute. Why or how do I know that I'm welcome when I come into this sacred space? So my answers were, well, it's a feeling. Something happens inside of me. My heart is more open than when I came in through the doors. The other thing that may happen is it's a look someone gives me that touches my soul. That's a possibility. I'm answering this for me. You can answer for yourselves. It's the essence of the place. It's the atmosphere. It's the greenery outside as you walk up and into the building. It's my gut. My gut says, oh, okay, well, that's true. Especially actually before the song is sang, I feel welcome. My gut tells me this is the right place for me. Your song says that. I'm here at the right time in the right place. The other thing, the words of the song. Sometimes words trip us up a little bit. Language is not always as clear as we want it to be. I think I should have been a linguist because I probably would have written a dictionary all over again. But anyway, so sometimes the words are what gives us this hit, I call it, where my soul and how it makes me feel and what I'm going to do with that. And then the melody of the music. Because I am not a musician, you see notes on that thing. I'll tell you that again about that in a minute. But I feel music. When you grow up in Detroit and Chicago, you can't help but feel music. And that's what I grew up with, and that's why it's so important to me. So right away, I thought, well, I could stop there with my talk and just make some comments about how it is you already have some resources as soon as you come up to the building that are going to give you information. Spirit is going to be able to say to you something special is about to happen. If you're willing, if you allow that, if you're open to it. And it happened again today. As I came in, someone recognized, oh, you're the speaker. Oh, we're looking forward to it. I didn't expect that. But I was open to it. So in terms of, again, going to this letter, the love letter comes in all kinds of ways. With my clients, my therapeutic clients, my clinical clients, I'm always saying to them, you have an opportunity to tap into, I can't dare say journal, they freak out. Oh, I don't want to journal. I said, well, how about a love letter? How about a love letter to yourself? My unspoken suggestion is, how about a love letter to your soul? At that level, is it possible that you can then tap into what's true for you? How it is that you can know yourself, know thyself, much better than you have probably for much of your life. By the way, while I'm doing what I'm doing, you all have these special ways in which you can access that point in your triune nature, the opportunities for being in touch with and listening to the soul component of yourself, capital SELF. So I have this little drawing up here on the board. This was my project, my practitioner project. I don't write music, I don't read music, but melodies are important for me. So what I did was I wrote or drew what was important for me as I was finishing my practitioner training. And what's important for me is to recognize that spirit is always speaking. I put notes because that's what I listen to, that's what I hear. That's how God talks to me, is in music, through music. And at the middle of that V is where the soul sort of takes up and is willing, available, can be activated. You get to choose what's going to happen with what it is that you're being given as a message. And then the manifestation, the activation happens where those, I'm going to have somebody read some notes for me someday to see if that's really a song. I have no idea. It probably just goes boop, boop, boop. I don't know. But there's a song that I pretended I was writing that would have been something that manifested, for instance. So the sweet sound of spirit, that's my way of paying attention to this concept of wholeness, which we all have access to. So the soul is always being informed, and always the possibility of always acting on it is there. Sometimes because we have free will and we can choose, sometimes we don't act on those things, that the message that we're being given. But according to Ernest Holmes, there is divine urge within everyone to know more, to be more, to express more. And I have found that the thing we're searching for is the thing we're searching with. We're searching with this concept of, I call it the triune nature of God, this concept of really paying attention to what's happening around us, within us, for us. And for me, it's important. It's important that we get to that. So I write a love letter to my soul every day, basically in the way that I walk the world. That's my love letter. It's a possibility for any of you to write your love letters to your souls the same way, or you create your own pattern or your own method. One of the other things that Ernest Holmes talks about is, again, relating to the soul. He speaks to it as the creative medium of spirit. It's the place where the notion of what's being given to you as a message can be subjectively looked at. No judgment. That's not what the soul is doing. Are you kidding? That's a stupid thing. You can't do that. I probably would have heard that many times had I not been neutral with what has come through in my life in terms of new activity or creativity. Moving to Savannah was a crazy, crazy notion for many of my friends because I did it all on my own with no help. I was drawn, and actually, I call them hits. I was given a hit that I had to leave. It was time to leave California, where I'd spent my life for 45 years. So to leave friends and begin a new life at 68 is not a little thing. But I heard it, I pondered it a bit, maybe at some points listened to some of my friends who were trying to say that's a really crazy thing to do at your age. But I could not, there are times when I've done things in my life where I had to choose the way I've chosen and have had no regret. Many times I've done that. There's a book called What Looks Like Crazy on an Ordinary Day. That was me. In judgment of myself at times, but I still moved on those things. So the soul life reacts. The soul life is the universe life. It is subjective because it takes the thought of conscious mind and acts upon it. It's I'm going to say necessary if we're in alignment and are interested in being in alignment with our body, soul, father, mind, father, body, soul. It's important to pay attention to that. It's important to move on it. Unfortunately, what happens when we don't is at some other point it's going to come back to visit us, or we have regret. This is typically kind of where regret comes from. Having known, because the message came, there was an opportunity to take a look and discern, and then to have it activated, and we missed the opportunity. But the blessing is we get to choose again. That's a blessing. Again and again and again and again and again. And there's no fault in that. It's not wrong to be in that place. So in terms of the soul again, and what I realize when I'm doing my work, for instance, as a therapist, is I get to assist my clients with that possibility in terms of activating what it is that's possible. Possibilities, and that's a big word for me. I love using that with my clients. Opportunities and possibilities. Opportunities and possibilities. I kind of live there. Sometimes it looks a little bit crazy, but I still take that and take advantage of it. So this is where choice comes into play, where the love of my soul is concerned. I'm in partnership with it. I'm in partnership with that part of my spiritual self. It's not separate from me. It is me. So when I think about the I am, that I am, that's part of my walk. There's a movie called The Moses Code that helped me to understand the I am that I am much better, because what I began to realize is the interpretation that I could have with that. I am that. I am. I am that. I am. So that component, that collaborative, unifying part of my opportunity to utilize my spiritual mind helps me to also recognize my responsibility, really, where my soul is concerned. So the soul is, my soul, my spiritual soul is actually also part of the universal soul. It's not separate. So there's even more resources related to that, where that's concerned. We have to discern, or I discern, how to use that creative principle. Where in my life am I going to take advantage of that? How might I, with no urgency, I don't use urgency in terms of my own tools. I pray and I meditate, and I may ask those who are aware of how it is that I walk on the planet, not those who are naysayers, obviously. So this is where my standing here today came into play with Reverend Dale. I had a conversation with him about my life, and at the end of the conversation, I said, and I believe my question might be, what else? Well, what else is, who knows what boundaries, or if there are boundaries there. He suggested, what now? Totally different question. Totally different opportunity to check in with my soul around that. Totally different opportunity to acknowledge that it's important to ask the right questions. I say right, I don't really like right and wrong. A better question, a different question. So again, this Trinity drawing had to do with, again, my spiritual walk, the Trinity being spirit, soul, and body, the threefold triune nature of God. So there's no limitation to the soul. My love letter is expansive. My love letter has many ways of being demonstrated. This is a love letter testimony. speaking to all of you. Surely I could have put it in a book and put it away somewhere. But I don't think that would have met the idea Spirit has for me. So I feel really blessed to have, however it was that I got here, to get here, to be able to share what I'm sharing with you now. There are so many examples of how it is that my soul, my spiritual self, has been an advantage for me. The one that's been most profoundly presented to me was in 2021, I lost my daughter-in-law to a surgery, a hysterectomy, on the table. In 2021, my son took his life. So here I am, though. Here I am. A true demonstration of how it is that God's will, thy will, be done, the grace and the mercy of God, the opportunity for me to stand and acknowledge the continued yes factor of my soul. Amen. The yes factor of my soul. That was up to me, because I knew that it certainly would be what my son and my daughter-in-law would want. And it's God's picture of me. Triumphant. Still standing. To be able to say what I say out loud. And to be okay. Doesn't mean I don't grieve. But it does mean I can still say from a place of courage and a place of being still fulfilled. I'm still alive. And so I have to. It's a mandate for me. This is my love letter to my soul. This is my love letter. And so for that opportunity as well, I really give you thanks for allowing me to say what I want to say without judgment, and be able to share that the principle that's used by everyone is available, but I use it. Otherwise, I would not be standing here. So I acknowledge as well that everyone has that possibility. It's possible. There's opportunities there for us to. I have a phoenix on my leg as a tattoo. I am a phoenix. And that trauma that happened is not the only one. It's the most significant. That could have taken me out of here. It could have. But that was not God's plan. And my soul took it and said, yes, do something with what you've learned. Sometimes chaos does that for us. Sometimes trauma does that. Seems kind of interesting to say that out loud, but that's what happens. If you're willing and open and honest and authentic and ready, all kinds of things are possible. So just a few other points I want to make. I've got a couple of books that I was reading while I was preparing for this. There's a book called The Untethered Soul, if you've heard of that. It says, remember that you are the one inside, and you are the one that's noticing those voices that are talking to us all the time. The awareness that I'm always the one talking, that part of me, there's a part of me that can always be silent as well. I've known for many, many, many years, probably under learning as a result of Agape, that how to witness myself and not be in that space. It's an interesting kind of concept. But I watch and witness my life, my path, and not participate in the dialogue between the this and the that. And I'm able to discern what to do with that. It's kind of an interesting process, but I've had lots of practice at it at this point. So witnessing and watching the voice is important. That voice that tells us this and that, But we have the opportunity to do something with that information. There's also a book by Thomas More called Care of the Soul. There's a lot of books about the soul out there, and I read them. So there's modest forms of retreat that serve spiritual needs of the soul. So this is talking about being still, the importance of being still and listening. I always tell my clients, there's listening and there's hearing. Hearing is mechanical, listening is really paying attention and being still and watching and learning what's coming through. So in our spirituality, we reach for consciousness, awareness, and the highest values. In our soulfulness, we endure the most pleasurable and the most exhausting of human experiences and emotions. These two directions make up the fundamental pulse of human life. And to an extent, they have an attraction to each other. So life is not always, cookies and cream. I know that for sure. Not many of us have perfect lives. And in the darkest places tend to be where the places where we get a lot of our insights and learning. So if you're willing, there's no way to prepare for that necessarily, but your readiness has to do with how it is you get yourself centered as much and grounded as much as possible. That's your love letter to yourself. That's self-care. That's self-care. I talk about that ad nauseum with my clients. It starts with you. It starts with me, right? I cannot assign my wellness to anybody but me. Yeah. So I'm going to do a little bit of something related to, I hope, this letter to the soul, a letter to my soul. I'm going to do a little bit of singing with you, not by myself. So this little, we called it a chant at Agape. It starts with, there you go. Good, thank you. Right. Okay, so these are the words. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. Now here's the thing. I'm going to say those words in between. So I love myself so much that I can love you so much that you can love you so much that you can start loving me. I'm going to have you stand if you can. And you're going to be doing this, talking to each other in this piece, okay? All right, so here we go. I love myself so much that I can love you so much that you can love you so much that you can start loving me. I love myself so much that you can love you so much that you can love me so much and you can start loving me. Very good. Thank you so much.